Hey everybody, it's Lisa with PTK in the Meetup. This is our first podcast of the spring semester. Sorry, I realize it's about a month late. But we have today, we're going to talk about the art programs here at Thomas Nelson and how the art can fit into your life and what you could do with it next. So today I have Lisa B. I'm also Lisa B. So today's the Lisa B day. She's also with PTK and a visual arts major here at Thomas Nelson. So tell me, what made you get into, I know you said that before we got on here, I know you said that you actually started out with fine arts. What got you started in fine arts?
Well, I've always loved art. I've always kind of dabbled in it, mostly just for the enjoyment of my family and my kids. You know, if they wanted me to do a costume for them or make a movie prop that they wanted, I could try to replicate it with either, cardboard, polymer clay, whatever, and drawing and stuff, and do murals for their rooms. So I've always enjoyed doing that. But I was mostly a stay-at-home mom while we were raising our 6 kids, my husband and I, and but since 3 of them are adults now, and they wanted to start going into college, and some of mine needed some assistance, so I thought, okay, well, maybe this will be a good time for me to go to college too, because from one reason or another, I wasn't able to really do the college thing until now. So since I had to be there anyway to be an assistant for my daughter, we just take the same classes, and she likes art and she's really good at math. So she helps me with the math classes, and I help decipher other things and help keep her on track. And she's enjoying art too, getting out of her little style that she does. She does like what we call Nikki May, because my daughter, her name is Nikki. She has like this old anime style. It's kind of like South Park style, but
okay,
and incorporate My Little Ponies in there.
Now, are you guys, you're both at Thomas Nelson, is that right?
Right.
So are you basically at the same point of the program? Are you or is one of you ahead, or?
We're actually extremely part-time students. We're only about halfway through. Okay. We've mostly done our art classes and about half of our academics. So we got a ways to go, because we can only take about 1 to 2 classes per semester. Gotcha. And we do summer classes too.
So is that program, is it still all online?
Well, I grabbed the only online classes that I could for this final semester. Last year was no problem. Even our painting was online. And we just finished up, not that long ago, figure drawing that was online, which is, drawing the human form, which includes nudes. And that was interesting, because the professor says, I've never taught this online before. I don't know how it's going to go. Very awkward.
So you had a live nude person on Zoom.
Yeah. No. It was a photo.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say.
No. I was thinking that too, and then when it ended up being, there's like these websites that for like poses for artists. Okay. And that's maybe not the exact name of the one that we were using, but it's but they show up different poses and things of the models. So yeah, it was quite interesting, and because I'm not good at people, I'm not good at drawing animals or people, living things. I'm like the still life queen. So, but give me a pretty bowl of fruit and I'm happy. But yeah, it was very challenging. Learned a lot, and thankfully had a very patient professor who. And I think all the online stuff was getting to him too. He's more of a think outside the box type of person, and he encourages that, and he encourages the communication. So if you have a good professor with that, it's so amazing how things click. And so I was blessed with a really good professor for that. So, but Nikki, my daughter Nikki, she didn't want anything to do with the figure drawing class.
Really?
Because it's awkward for her to think about drawing naked people or people in all natural. And so it's like, okay, we'll just push that down the road further for you in case, because I'm thinking this would have been better than actual live model for her, because it's going to go back to live model.
Yeah. So how old did you say that Nikki is?
She's 22.
Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, so she started a year after high school. And after about a year after she was established at her part-time job, and we could figure out a schedule. And so, yeah, so that's why we're also part-time to accommodate her work schedule.
So I'm just curious for the both of you, like, what
Mhm.
is your end goal? Like, what are you trying to do with this type of degree?
Well, we would like to graduate together, but she still kind of likes to have academic classes. She really enjoys math. I have to double check to make sure she's still my child, other than she looks like a copy and paste of me with darker hair like her dad. But that's so not from my side, it's his side, the math. And but I think she still wants to keep taking classes. She kind of still wants to be a kid at heart and otherwise. So I think she associates school with being a kid, but I'm trying to teach her that college is about adults,
Yeah.
and figuring out what we want to be when we grow up. And I'm still working on that, but I would like for myself, so she wants to continue with Thomas Nelson, and that's fine, and I'll support her with that, and might trade off who's going to be her one-on-one, but between her older sibling that already graduated from Thomas Nelson and he went on to CNU. So I'm wanting to follow in my son's footsteps, my oldest son's footsteps, and go to CNU. But he did the computer thing, and I'm going to be doing art. So, but that's where my goal is. I would like to get a bachelor's in art, and maybe, and I enjoy working with special needs children. I've had the pleasure of volunteering at some of my kids' high schools in the special ed classes in the art department, and so I think I might eventually like to do that, be an art teacher or art therapist for if I can try to find a niche that's specifically for special needs. That would be wonderful, because they need more resources.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I know that things like writing and drawing and creating is a very good outlet, one that
Right,
is
and a lot of them have sensory issues,
yep.
so all the different mediums, all that they can explore and help maybe get over some things. So like, I have a hard time handling chalk, but then again, I can handle clay as long as I wash my hands right away afterwards. So there's where my spectrum stuff comes in. So, but yeah, chalk
Now,
just.
do they have I guess I feel like in the past we've kind of discussed this a little bit. But we've been trying to find out, do they have some type of art exhibit or a way to display art at Thomas Nelson? Do they have something like that they allow you guys to share your art?
Well, before the pandemic, they would have student art shows. In fact, one year I actually entered a snow globe that I painted, and I got like third place. So,
wow.
Or second place. I'm sorry, I got second place. And but yeah, it was a Santa paw, or not paw, love, holding a snow globe, and it had the Thomas Nelson statue that's on the Campton campus.
Okay.
It looks like Twix bars, I'm hungry, sorry. So I was holding that up, and with the Thomas Nelson banner on one of the lampposts in the background. But it was it was a winter student art show, and had to incorporate Thomas Nelson and winter. So, but yeah, they did do the art shows, and they do other exhibits as well. That was just a winter one, but they just stopped doing them after the pandemic. And then our wonderful art building roof collapsed, and at Templin Hall, and that kind of ended a lot of stuff too. And that's why a lot of the art classes remained online for a long time, because that's where our stuff was. And even for the computer art classes, our digital design classes, a lot of the computers were upstairs, and
yep,
a lot of damage.
Well, I noticed that I spend a lot of time on campus. As much as I can outside, so I don't have to wear my mask,
Right.
I can breathe a little bit. And I noticed they've been working pretty well on that building. So
I haven't been on there very often. I was there for dropping off some veteran artwork that they were reaching out to artists to do some veteran work for a Veterans Day. And so that's the last time I was on there to pick up my painting that I had dropped off. They were showing it at the Hampton campus and the Historic Triangle campus.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, it looks like, they're back at it. They're making some type of progress. And I know that a lot, not just you guys, but I mean, music, all, all those types of things are eager to get
Mm-hmm.
back in there because everyone's
Right.
just thrown in other buildings wherever they can find room, and
Right.
that Templin Hall it's a beautiful building.
Oh, I know. We've enjoyed the plays there, the musicals. I mean, just a lovely, lovely building and just so full of creativity. I mean, I'm just amazed by all the students that are there when I see their work, either digital or traditional art. And it's just wow. And it's just to be a part of it. I feel so blessed and honored to be among such wonderful, young, raw talent. And it's like, man, I'm over 50 and I'm learning this technique, but they're just starting. Think of how wonderful they're going to be when they're 50.
Yes.
And it's like, it just blows my mind. It's like, wow, I wish I could have 1 ounce of your creativity.
Yes. Now you had talked about transferring over to CNU, and then I think you and I were talking about you said they have a new
art building, yeah, the Mary Togler building. I may not be pronouncing it correctly, but yeah, they recently opened up a new art building, and it's going to have it even has a photography darkroom, a pottery department, like pottery wheels and things like that. And I know they offer community classes for the community, but I think they have classrooms in there too, but I'll find out more once I transfer. So keep my fingers crossed. Can't cross them anymore.
You said you're about halfway through?
About halfway through, yeah. Maybe a tiny bit more than halfway through. So, because I've done a few other classes outside of what my daughter has done that she just didn't want to do. And so it's like, okay, well, I want to keep the momentum going. And I know during the pandemic, the art has been a lifesaver. I mean, mentally, I really needed the outlet, and it helps me function better, helps me be a happier person when I'm creative. And that boils down to, or trickles down to, I'm a happier mother. I'm a nicer mother to be around. And sometimes my teenager will say, I can't tell the difference, but hey, I can't please everybody all the time.
So how hard is it though to get time in to do art when you have so much going on in your own personal life and you're still at home doing all of this?
Yes, it is a challenge. I have to dedicate certain times, but sometimes a spur of a moment, I'll get an idea and I have to at least do a little bit of it to get that spark going, or to get at least to a stopping point, and or just jot down ideas. And I have a really good support system. My oldest son and my husband, and my youngest son, actually, they all help a bunch. They help a lot with their siblings that are a little different levels of functionality as far as their disabilities. And but it's a team effort. We all try to give each other time for each other's niches. Like one has to do gaming, another one does stop motion photography, my oldest son. So I try to make sure we all get our time for creativity, because it's been very helpful for our mental health. And some of us kind of borderline on depression anyway. And so it's really, really helping. But we manage it. We just kind of take turns. We all can't do it all at the same time, usually. Except for one time we were doing a sidewalk challenge, and you could have as many people as you wanted for it. So we all got a bunch of sidewalk chalk, and it was a challenge at one of the museums in Virginia Beach, I think, he was doing, and we had to replicate a famous piece of art. So it was kind of fun. All my adult kids and I were out there on our hands and knees with chalk. So
that's pretty.
Sometimes we could do it together.
That was awesome. So I guess I have a question for you. What would you say is your favorite part of art? Like, is there a certain technique that you like, or a certain, like, what is it about art?
Well, there's a couple things really. One, I really like a challenge. If something isn't, if I'm kind of stubborn to not do it, then I finally usually get over myself, and it's like, okay, here's a challenge. Let's look at it as an adventure, you know, and kind of dive into it that way. But then when I'm doing something that I'm very, very painstakingly doing fine detail to, like a painting or something, once I start into it, I get like what I call like in the zone. I mean, people could be talking around me, there could be chaos around me, and I literally just I'm not aware of it. You know, if someone's like, "Mom, I'm bleeding from the nose" or something, you know, but I just like zone out, and it just kind of happens. And it's kind of euphoric, a high, if you will. I'm a dry boozer, I promise. That's my last name, Boozer. But yeah, it can be intoxicating, you know, on some of it, and that's where, you know, all the feel good chemicals in your brain help you feel better and get through the depression, and those oxytocins kicking in, and so it's.
What would you say? What would you say your out of everything that you've done or made or created? What is your favorite piece?
My favorite piece. Let's see. Well, I think from one of my paintings from Painting 2 class, and it was a still life I did. I know, not real challenging, but I love steampunk, and I was trying to incorporate some steampunk things, and it was funny. My professor says, "Oh, you and your steampunk," but no, I got a good grade on it. So, but
everyone has a thing. I mean, if your thing works and people like it, I mean, even if they don't like it, it's art's about expressing how you feel, you know, and not everyone's going to understand it or get it, and that's okay.
Exactly. Now, what another art form that I've been doing though that I've really loved to do is I do leather work, and that's extremely therapeutic because it's very physical. It's a very physical medium to work with. You can hammer it, pound it, punch holes in it. Wood burner on it, you know, sear it. I did this sculpture here with wood and leather, and of course my steampunk gears and stuff. And then with learning collage techniques with paper and stuff like that from one of my other art classes, my fundamentals of design class, I was able to incorporate a lot of those things that I learned there into this piece. It's sideways because I'm covering a window, so I wouldn't have a whole like a halo, because I'm not an angel. So but yeah, it's working with all sorts of things, but I'm really enjoying. In fact, I have a mask that's going to be on display in an exhibit at the Charles Taylor Art Center in Hampton. So it's a Art League member, their annual show, so that you get to pick one of your pieces. It gets automatically accepted. But and that's about the third or fourth time I've exhibited there. So
where is that located at?
In downtown Hampton. It's close to Darlene Stadium, right across the street.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that pretty building with the white columns, the bright red door, and it's right next to the library.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to the library there. Yeah, it's at the same parking lot as the library. And Charles Taylor Visual Arts Center.
Charles Taylor Visual Arts Center. Now, is that something, do they have exhibits often? Yeah,
they really do. If you go to the Hampton City government website, and that's you go over to the arts and then look for their art center. There's also theater that you can look up things for theater, but not there, but they're partnered together. And so it's really cool. And they did something for artists during the pandemic that was amazing. They did monthly art challenges, and it was a virtual. So they would come up with a theme, and we had to come up with it and then enter it. So I was actually able to enter a few of those pieces in their small works exhibit, and they're getting ready to do another exhibit for the virtual art challenge exhibit, and it's stuff that we created during that whole time frame that they had it for almost 2 years.
Oh wow.
So it was cool.
So what would you say to a student that is, I don't know, thinking about getting into arts? Where would you recommend that they would start?
I definitely Thomas Nelson. It's they have a way to, for someone just starting their degree, if you haven't dabbled in art much, or if you are an avid art person and you just wanted more formal training, like myself. I just wanted a more formal training. I want to learn proper techniques, terminologies, and things like that, and to hone my skills better. But definitely Thomas Nelson would be the way to go. Are we allowed to name professor names?
Absolutely.
Okay. Peter Giscombe. I don't know if I'm saying it right. He always corrects me. He's a fabulous professor. When you have a professor like him who thinks outside the box on his own creations and encourages that, and he talks about life while you're working, he sometimes plays music while you're working, and he provides an atmosphere just to get the creative juices flowing. And it doesn't matter from what level that you are on. He has a way of telling you like how you can do better, but in a creative way and a not insulting way, and encouraging. He doesn't crush your soul with critiques, where I've had some that have it's like after a critique, it's like having a root canal. But he's just like a breath of fresh air. He very different, very powerhouse, a lot of energy compacted into a small person. A small frame person, and he's just he's a really good professor. And I've had other numerous really wonderful art professors. Unfortunately, a couple of them one has retired, another one left. So but I know that they're looking earnestly for some more talent to come in and educate and mentor and future generations. So I'm looking forward to meeting new professors. But it's been wonderful learning the things that I've learned already. And I would definitely encourage people to reach out to Thomas Nelson, because they've got some very talented professors that have been in the field for a long time, and they're there because they want to teach. And when you have someone there that's doing what they really want to do, why they want to be there, not just to pay the bills or whatever, because they want to teach it, and it's nice. And
that's encouraging. I know sometimes when you're trying to be creative in any way, whether sculpting, drawing, writing, it's scary to be critiqued or judged, and it can take you from a very, very large high to a very, very large low quickly.
Exactly. Well, you're exposing yourself when you're presenting your piece, your innermost self. And so it's very intimidating and frightening.
It is.
And so but if you step outside of it sometimes, though, if the critique is done properly, I think you get more out of it than if you didn't have it critiqued. Maybe insight to more different techniques, or try different things, or even listening to somebody else's critique on their own piece gives you ideas for some of your stuff. So
that's a good point.
The group critiques that we used to do in class and stuff is just amazing. How we put everything at one side of the class. We'd all this is from another painting professor, that we'd all stand back in a semicircle and look at each other's work, and then we'd kind of dissect them a bit, and and soak it all in, but amazing work, though. I mean, I'm just blown away at these kids, what they can do.
Is it hard to critique someone else's work knowing that you are in the same position?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Now, me as a mother, I've gotten a little more used to critiquing younger folk. So I'm a little, so I'm kind of biased that way on critiquing, but it's definitely hard. And when you're on the receiving end of one, especially, you get nervous.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard to critique someone knowing that they're going to turn around and do it to you.
Yeah, and if you have to critique someone who you've known for a while,
yes,
and consider a friend, and it's hard. You know, it
Yes.
is.
I've learned, I mean, I'm in science, and I'm in the scientific research class, and we are in a point where we realize that our conversations are awkward, and these are people that you're going to have to see every day. But in life, when you get a job, you're going to be in this very scenario where you're
Exactly.
talking about someone else's experiment, and pointing out what you think isn't good, and it's part of
Exactly.
life.
Exactly. In fact, you're gonna, if it's a job, you're gonna have that relationship longer than you did in the school. So
Yes.
yeah. Yes, exactly.
Uh,
I know. And yeah. Now for some people who that I've known for, students I've had in several semesters, and they're critiquing my stuff, they know me at the point now, I'm just like, okay, just let me have it. Go ahead, do it. Tell me, be
yeah.
honest. I can tell if you're lying. So and that's the mom coming at me again, it's like,
It's funny because I feel like it may be something you already knew, but you hope no one else noticed, maybe.
that too. Yes,
And they call you out
definitely.
because they're that good at
Yes. Like,
art.
oh dang, I hope you wouldn't notice that. Yeah,
You noticed.
exactly. uh, but yeah, I've always been like the worst critique. I mean, the most harsh critic of my own work, because I'm bad at not standing back away from my work that often. And my last professor, he helped kind of ingrain that in me. You need to put your work down and stand back and look at it from a distance, and you got to keep doing that every once in a while, and so you catch a lot of stuff. Then again, over 50, you have presbyopia, and you need to do that anyway with your eyes,
Yes. Yes.
but so it's extremely helpful for that too. But it definitely helps you catch things, so hopefully they don't get caught on the critique.
Now you said your piece is at the Charles Taylor Visual Arts Center.
Uh-huh.
How long is it going to be there for?
It's and now this isn't a piece I did for class, it's just on my own. It's kind of a combination painting and leather sculpture, a 3D mixed media piece.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be, I think they moved the award ceremony is going to be on the 12th of February, next Saturday. They're doing a live Facebook thing, and I think it's going to be through like April something.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can check the website though, they have the exact dates. So it's
perfect.
Yeah.
Is there information? Do they also have information if you wanted to submit a piece of your own work? Is there a way to reach out to them?
They have call to artists, or artist calls, they call them, that you can check on exhibits and future exhibits, and they take you to a link on how you can go enter them, what the criteria is, and I think even new art students, they should go ahead and dabble into those waters. They kind of get their feet in, kind of jump in with both feet and just get that experience, because it's good for your portfolio resume. And that's what I'm starting to try to focus on, because and try to get as many as you can. And even if you're not local, try to get, there's online ones that you can search out for, call to artists, and see what you find on the internet. And so I mean, because it definitely helps. And the more different kinds of communities that you can exhibit in, just to make people aware of different kinds of art. And even if it's not yours, spreading the word for other artists,
absolutely,
it enriches the community.
It is a community. It is
it's on its own right. Yeah,
everywhere you look, I feel like you don't even realize it sometimes when you're walking around town, whether you're in Norfolk or in Hampton, there's pieces that artists have done that are all over the city. Sculptures and paintings and just murals they've done on the side of a building.
Well, I know in Norfolk recently, and I got accepted. I was like one of 5 art students that got accepted at the Art Center for a Virginia student art exhibit. And so you had to prove that you're an art student, an active art student, and I am. So I'm just an old one, probably the oldest one.
I doubt it.
And so I got a couple of my pieces. My campus snow globe got entered, and then my favorite still life that I did.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
No.
It's dusty in this workshop of my husband's. There's sawdust in it, and it's allergies.
The creative juices. You're sitting where all the creative juices flow.
Yes, the dust too. We just call it fairy dust. Yes. It's oh. Eyes are starting to water. I'm crying.
Now, is there anything else that you want to say to people out there about arts?
I would say keep creating, even if it's just doodling on a piece of paper. That doodle can turn into something. There's a technique called in our drawing class that was the continuous line drawing. And if you just doodle and scribble, and you can make forms, and depending on how the pressure that you put down on your pen or your marker depends, it could give you more shading, or different light tones and color variations. And it's just doodle and try to draw a little something every day, even if it's like drawing life, like a squirrel. Try to sketch a squirrel or a tree or a leaf or something, just sometimes mundane things. Keep practicing every day, and try to have it be a part of your life. That way it's a natural part of you. Your pen or your paintbrush and your paper or canvas are just natural extensions of you. And just when you get to that point, it's just like, okay, what can I create today? But there are days, like I said, being a parent, a busy parent, it's hard to find that time. But I would say for the incoming art student, though, definitely try to be a little creative every day, or look at something differently. Try to do something that you haven't done before. Go outside the box. Do what you think you couldn't. And if you mess up, that's okay. It's a learning experience. And
it's great advice. Sometimes it is about being outside of your comfort zone. Amazing things can happen,
Oh, I know. I mean, yeah, it's like, wow. And it's like, I didn't think of that before. And then maybe get like someone you trust, their opinion, get their ideas on things and how things look, because fresh eyes looking on a project is very helpful. It can be extremely helpful. So
great. Well, I'm really excited that you joined me today.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I really am.
It's an honor.
And I really wanted to learn more about the art community and how, anybody you can start and get involved. And, it's not just about going to
right.
The visual arts center. You can do it from your home. You can do it online.
And you meet so many wonderful people, so many different students from all different walks of life, and professors too. Like they had, like some of them had totally different careers, and they came to to teach. And it's and photographers, because that's a wonderful art form also. I mean, I've met wonderful photographers, painters, sculptors, illustrators. I mean, just amazing. And computer artists. And it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful, and I so hope they finish the Templin Hall soon, because it's such a wonderful creative building to be in. Music, theater, art, and it's just wonderful. Sometimes just being in an atmosphere like that, it really helps. That's why I'm so wanting to go to CNU, because their new art center is just amazing to look at. We were there for my husband, my son's graduation rather, and it's just a beautiful building.
Well, I hope the right people are out here listening. We want Templin Hall back. We need it.
I know, it would be great, and that we really desperately need it. So
we do. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this was Lisa from PTK on the meetup. And thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.